travelers, and welcome back to our Big's Adventure. My name is Cynthia, and today I've been challenged by Leroy over at 40 and Broke to give him my frugal tips to keep me on budget. I love coming in under budget on all of my categories because it gives me more money for my prepper pantry and more money for splurging on those super awesome gluten-free items that always break my bank. 40 and Broke is all about budgeting and financial freedom. So if you haven't checked him out, go do it. If you're ready, press the like button and let's save some money.
My first tip for saving money on your budget is to make a meal plan every week. Go through your fridge and your freezer and pantry. Anything that's getting old, expired, or needs to be used up goes on the menu plan for the week. A menu plan can just be written on a piece of paper with a pen. You don't need anything fancy. I got this calendar at Dollar Tree. Fill your menu plan with family favorites. If your family likes spaghetti, tacos, any kind of familiar foods that are easy to prepare, even chicken nuggets and French fries, I highly suggest you put those on the menu. They're not expensive and your family will love them. It will save a trip through the drive-thru if you have it ready to go when you get home from work. You don't have to pull a rabbit out of a hat to make an easy meal plan that's in your budget.
Tip number 2, when you get to the store, make sure that you have a list and you look for those clearance items.
I always write out a grocery list, but whether I remember to take it with me or not, that's another question. I always look for those markdown stickers. There's actually a little thrill for me when I find something on markdown. The prepackaged salads and vegetables is a great place to look for convenience items at a super low price. Having a rough idea of the meals you want to make can help you work these markdowns into your meal plan. Let's talk about markdown meat. This is my favorite. I love markdown meat. Get it and put it in the freezer and use it for another week, or work it into your meal plan for the week and use it up as soon as you can.
Tip number 3 is do batch cooking. I'm a huge fan of cook once and eat twice, or maybe even 3 times.
On the weekends, I set aside a few hours to do some batch cooking. When I turn my oven on, I make sure that I fill it so that way I don't waste any of my propane. Perfect example. Last time I made taco meat, I made enough for 4 meals. The perfect Friday night dinner, sheet, tray, nachos, and all I had to do was warm up the meat. Cooking in the summer can be murder on your AC bill. Make sure you crack out that crock pot or take your meat and veggies and throw them on the grill.
Here's a tip that I have been using for years. If you have something on your stove that needs to boil, cover it. Then the last 10 minutes that it boils or needs to cook, you can turn your gas off and let it sit in the pot. This includes macaroni, beans, rice, anything. Just leave it set nice and covered and it's going to continue to cook. And at the end of your cooking time, it'll come out perfect, I promise. This is the last of my baking for today. I've got about 10 minutes left on everything, so I'm just going to go ahead and shut that off, let the oven finish.
Turn on those ceiling fans when you're using the stove on a hot day. This will help the air circulate. I like to take a standing fan and put it in the doorway of rooms not connected to the kitchen. I point it toward the AC thermostat so that the air conditioning does not have to work as hard.
Tip number 4 is don't waste your food. Throwing food in the garbage can is like taking dollar bills and throwing them in the garbage. I would never do that. So I don't like to throw food away. Save your scraps. This is the top to an onion and the bottom. And I always have a little bag of scraps going in my freezer for when I make bone broth.
There always seems to be a little bit of applesauce at the bottom of the applesauce jar. Those 2 bananas no one ate, maybe some berries that are getting a little mushy. It's time to turn those into some delicious pancakes. Your family will love them. You can also do a quick bread recipe and bake it into a nice loaf. When my toddlers were at home, they were famous for taking one bite out of an apple, and I always used to turn it into apple muffins, which were their favorites. The last few pieces of lunch meat can get turned into toppings for a pizza. Even a frozen pizza can get jazzed up. Tip number 5 is preserve what is abundant. Whatever is in season at your local grocery store is going to be on sale. Get those cherries, those strawberries, and cut them up. Put them in the freezer for later use. If you're a canner, try some canning. If you've got a dehydrator, try some dehydrating. I spied these bell peppers at Aldi recently for 99 cents for 3 and snatched them up to put in the freezer. Here's another one of my favorite deals. I got 11 pounds of asparagus for 79 cents a pound. We had blanched frozen asparagus, canned asparagus, and we actually ate asparagus as well fresh. It was absolutely delicious, and we had asparagus for a long time. This garlic I got for 99 cents, all that you see here plus more. I peeled it all and put it in my freezer. It kept forever. If you have kale and you're not going to use the bottom of the bag, instead of throwing it away, go ahead and pop it in the dehydrator. It makes a great addition to soups and stews. If you have the opportunity and some space to put some seeds in the ground, it's so much fun. You can plant zucchini, cherry tomatoes in a flower garden around your house and no one will ever even know. My buddy Natalie Fierce over at Natalie Fierce Has Cerebral Palsy planted a beautiful balcony garden with herbs and flowers this year. I loved it. I put a link to Natalie's channel down below in the description. If you're unsure about what grows in your area, or if you just want some tips and tricks, check out your local master gardener. They would love to share any information that they might have, and they probably have some seeds to share too for free. I live in the middle of a huge forest, and one of my favorite ways to save money on my grocery budget is foraging. We got this little haul after about 30 minutes of picking. Mr. Biggs is always hauling crawfish out of our local creek. Don't forget dandelions, they are delicious. This is called dollar weed and it grows all over by our pond. This is poke and you can make a poke salad with it. Beautyberry also grows in my yard. It's delicious. These are wild grapes. These also grow on my property. Sparkleberries or wild blueberries are always a treat. If you're not sure about foraging, make sure to check out your local Facebook groups. I bet there's a bunch of people on there that would love to share the information that they have. A great way to get free food is to ask your neighbors, do they have an apple tree? Maybe they have a pear tree or an orange tree and they never pick it. That's a great time to build a relationship with your neighbor and also get some free food. Thank you for sticking around until the end of the video. I hope you got something out of it. I'm seeing rising prices at the grocery store, so I'm doing everything I possibly can to stretch my dollar a little further. Thank you again for watching, and remember everybody, life is an adventure, so enjoy your journey. Bye-bye!